So in this video I'm going to talk a little bit about reflexology. Now, if you're anything like me, in the beginning of the program I was a little bit like, what is reflexology? Like, why do I even need to do reflexology? But over the years I've come to realise how it is an incredibly powerful, simple, effective and very inexpensive tool for healing the body. So hopefully in this introduction I can tell you a little bit more about reflexology, the benefits of reflexology, how it actually works, and maybe open your mind up a little bit to integrating reflexology into your nutritional balancing regime. So one issue that we get with reflexology is it's very poorly understood, especially in mainstream medicine, mainstream science. People don't really understand how reflexology works. But you know, especially in England, we've got things like the NHS. The NHS is starting to use acupuncture at the moment because there's no denying the fact that it's helping people overcome some serious problems. So there's other things like, you know, this is an ancient method of healing the body. Now, a lot of people these days kind of disregard a lot of Chinese medicine, a lot of Ayurvedic, different things, different ideas about energy, different ideas about fields. There's no denying the fact that these actually do genuinely work, and they've lasted thousands and thousands of years. So we shouldn't just kind of push them to one side. Mainstream science is starting to open their minds up a little bit. They're starting to discover certain things about the body that they wasn't really understood in the past. You know, mainstream science is only 100, 200 years old. You know, look at all the recent discoveries on things like quantum physics, quantum mesh. The human aura is starting to get talked about a lot more in science. So these things are really, really important, and it's one of the principles of reflexology that you need to kind of understand. Also, another point is that the body is an electrical system, and reflexology works not on the electrical system as such, but it's to do with different energy channels and different types of energies that run through the body. Now, if anyone's got any idea or any knowledge about fractal geometry, they would understand that fractals work all across the universe, and it's right inside our bodies as well. You look at the Fibonacci sequence, for example, that's all the way through nature, and it also runs in our bodies. So if we understand that the world and nature is built on fractals, it's quite easy to understand that in each part of our bodies, whether it be the hands or the feet, these actually correspond to other areas of the body, and that's what fractal geometry or fractal science is all about. Now, when we understand that, we begin to realise the potentials that using reflexology or using hand reflexology can have throughout the body. Now, luckily, the ancient wisdom, ancient texts have come to understand these energy channels a lot, and they have mapped out different areas on the hands, on the feet, on the ears, on the eyes, on which areas correspond to the different organs or the different parts of the body, whether it be an organ, whether it be the spine, for example, whether it be loads of different things on the body. And what we aim to do is to stimulate these parts of the hands or the feet or the ears. And what happens is, because of fractal geometry and fractal science, these areas will relax or will affect other parts of the body. So, for example, on the foot, there's a liver point. If you rub the liver, it will activate the liver organ. It will help remove toxins. It'll help help heal the liver, and you can do this all throughout the body. There's actually energy channels or small energy systems that run all the way down the body. And you know, one of the reasons why naturally, you know, we should walk around barefoot It's because the ground, the stones, the pebbles, nature is actually giving us energy. It's causing acupressure points, it's causing reflexology while we walk in nature, and it really helps to heal and relax and even energize the body in certain ways. So in terms of safety is a big thing in nutritional balancing, and we like to do techniques that are very safe, extremely effective, and really inexpensive. And reflexology, epitomizes that whole concept. However, it is a very, very powerful way of healing the body. Many people don't realize how powerful it actually is. So, when you're doing reflexology or hand reflexology, we like to say don't do the procedure more than 30 minutes at a time. It's not necessarily to work on the same point for more than 2 minutes at a time. Obviously, if things are starting to get really painful, don't force anything. And obviously, please use only blunt tools when you're doing reflexology. Now, some of the benefits to reflexology are huge. One major benefit that I personally found is the benefit of grounding. Now, grounding is going to be talked about in another video in the video course, but it's a very interesting and amazing concept, and a lot of people tend to be very ungrounded, and it's got a lot to do with the energy centers in the body and where the energy lies. So a lot of people are ungrounded, they're up in their heads, they've got something called yin disease, which is just talking about the balances of energy in the body. And to ground yourself is to bring the energy downwards, is to reconnect with the earth, is to reconnect with the lower part of your body. And it's actually very difficult to kind of do this, and reflexology is one of the few tools out there that's very effective in doing that. So rubbing the pressure points, rubbing the foot firmly, it helps bring that energy downwards. I remember when I had a few healing reactions, a few copper releases, and I was very spaced out, very up in my head. My energy was totally upwards, and I got a few reflexology sessions, or did some reflexology on myself, and the energy started to come down, and I felt so much more better just from that simple technique. Another good point of reflexology is obviously what I talked about earlier, is it helps to relax the organs. Relaxation in general is extremely important in nutritional balancing. Rest and sleep is the number one really thing that you need to do in nutritional balancing. It's so important, especially in the beginning of the program, to relax and to get into a state of being that's very slow, very relaxed. A lot of people are running around too much these days, and reflexology just kind of brings you down, relaxes you a little bit, puts you back in touch with your own body, with the own ground, etc. Reflexology is also very good for in some emergency situations. If people are having really bad stomach problems, a little bit of reflexology can actually, in the right areas, can actually stimulate the stomach, stimulate the digestive tract, and it can alleviate some of the problems. I know one story by Dr. Lawrence Wilson. A guy rang him up at 1 a.m. in the morning saying that can he take him to the hospital because he was having some severe stomach pains. And Dr. Wilson says, just before we go to the hospital, let me do a little bit of reflexology on you. And after 10 minutes, the guy got up, he went to the toilet and threw up, and turned out to be food poisoning. Some migraines, if you get migraines, if you get the right spot, it can clear up migraines. My partner once, she was not feeling well at all. I did some reflexology on her, and the same thing happened. She felt much more relaxed, and then she went and threw up. So, it's excellent for emergencies. It's also excellent for some chronic conditions. A lot of people walk around today with chronic infections, acute conditions that they just can't get rid of, and believe it or not, doing a little bit of reflexology can alleviate some of these problems that people have got. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what tools you can use for reflexology and talk about the procedure involved.